What's up, guys? This is the 0 Hour Work Week.
This is Sid from Hammock Data.
This is Ty from LaCroix.
Yes. What are we talking about today, Ty?
Actually, it's on the piece of paper. I have no idea. I completely forgot.
All right. So we're starting to get more organized about this. We want to get some good topics out to you guys.
Yeah.
The one we're going to talk about right now is how to sell used products to sell.
Yep.
Like how do you get used products to sell, right?
Yep.
So you want to talk about something maybe like, and this will be a short video compared to the other ones. So let's go through it. Like, what are the maybe a few best practices for a used product, right?
Yep.
And let's talk about two different types: clothing and shoes versus electronics.
Yep.
Right? So how do you do this with clothing and shoes?
You have to backtrack, right? So think about where a supply is going to be at, or I think in supply chain it's like a supply dump or whatever it is. For clothing and shoes, the best way is going to be figure out where a bunch of it is and where it's going to land up. That's why thrift stores do so well. Is because that's the end of the food chain. You need to try to cut the food chain out, or understand where all this product is going to be going at the end.
So what do you mean by that, right? Can you talk into it? Let's talk about I see hey, I'm at a garage sale. I see a shoe,
Yep.
and I'm like, I should sell online. And how do you like what you just said, where it's going to end up? Let's talk through that process.
Definitely. So if you look at the flow of everything goes, think of it's always going to be a flow.
Mm-hmm.
So the department store sells it to you as a consumer, and then you need to get rid of it somewhere, right? So you need to figure out where you're going to get rid of it, or where that person is going to get rid of it. So if you want to do clothing and shoes, think about where that person is going to want to either sell it or donate it or anything along those lines. And if you want better margin, you want to cut out the middleman, but you can always go to those end locations as well.
Gotcha. So, So let's go through then. Let's talk you're at a garage sale. You see a shoe. What do you do? Right.
Yeah. So what I'm doing at this garage sale, I'm seeing a shoe. Is first I want to make sure it's a recognizable brand that I know, and even if it isn't, I'm going to type in the brand and the model into eBay and hit sold listings. Sold listings on the left hand side. Scroll down in the filter. Hit sold, and it's going to tell you exactly what it's sold for.
If you guys want to have more details around that, we have another video out there. Yep. Check that out. How to check out sold listings. Cool. So now you figured out, hey, this product has it sold in the past or not, right?
Yep.
So you're looking for something that's used that's sold similar product.
Yep.
Now you bought the shoe. How do you make it look the best possible to sell it online?
Shoes are interesting. So you really want to clean shoes. It's a headache and hassle. I know when I had a shoe store at one point. It's so stupid. It's so stupid to say. Cut that out.
I had a shoe store.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
I had a shoe store. It's actually good money. But at that point, you need to be able to clean those shoes. Make sure they look best, because your quality of your product is going to be a driving factor for a sale. So clean the shoes. There's a bunch of videos out there. Maybe we might make a video one these days on how you clean the shoes, how you tighten them up. Go on YouTube, and there's gonna be a bunch of spots for that.
Okay. So you clean the shoe. Now let's say you have a clothing item. What do you do with a clothing item?
Clothing item, you want to get rid of the wrinkles. That's the biggest one, and you want to measure that clothing item.
Okay. So most likely then you're going to be ironing it or something like that. If it's a high-end item, maybe you want to get dry clean, just make it look as good as possible. And then let's talk about taking photos.
Let me do a trick for that though, real fast. You put them in the dryer, and you throw a bunch of ice cubes in, and it'll melt, and then steam them. So
I have definitely seen that before.
Little fun fact. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now let's talk about the other side of it. So you have these products. How do you take photos of them? What do you want to highlight in these photos?
You want to highlight first the default pic. You want the best photo, and you want the whole thing in there.
Okay.
And then you want to highlight the brand, the model as well, right? Because then the consumer can see what it is, and if it's a size, if there's a size on it, you want to give them everything in the description in the photos. As I know personally, I'm super lazy, and I'm just gonna look at the photos and see if it's correct. And we buy thousands of products too, which is interesting. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight the defects it has on there, because you don't want returns.
Gotcha. Okay, so you don't want to return, so you want to highlight the defects in the following photos. The first one's that getter, right? It's hey, I'm going to look the best possible, put that on there. Then the other photos are follow-ups. Really highlight your flaws in there.
It's your Tinder photo. It's your Tinder photo. Tinder default, number one.
Tinder default. On Tinder, you don't really highlight your error, the flaws.
Sure.
So the first photo is supposed to be your Tinder photo.
Yeah.
Then the other ones are maybe more I don't know, your
Facebook or your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
So okay, cool. So we got that. And then let's talk about the titling of it. How do you want to do the title?
So title's very important, right? You want to find since I always like doing sold listings and going through sold listings to find the product that best matches. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna understand what the average sale price is, right? So if 10 items are selling for $10 and one sold for $25, I'm actually gonna look at the $25 one and be like, this title looks great. There's a reason why it sold for $25. It could have been there's no demand. Make sure the title works great. The longer the title, the better. It needs to have all the keywords in there that works. And I'm gonna hit sell like that, and then that's the one I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna price it at a $10 average.
Perfect. So to summarize it real quick, it's you want to go look at the product that's sold for the highest price that is in a similar condition, and then you want to copy what they did for their title and do yours the same.
100%.
Perfect. If you guys don't want to do that, we have VAs that can do it for you.
100%, yeah. Let me touch the point. Like, if you guys are a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, or any of these things, like, you need to, the one thing I've understood, like, working with Amazon, is what they do is they handle all, like, the work that no one wants to do. The shipment, all the packing, the photos, all that stuff, they handle it. You need to get somebody, if you want to scale, or even if you just want more time, you need to have some not even if it's RVAs, right?
You just need someone to do it.
Someone to do it, or, like, some process that makes it simple and easy. You just need it gone and done with over and over and over again.
Perfect. Cool. So so now you listed the product on there with the title and the description. I assume you can copy like a description for somebody else.
Yep.
For the standard side of the product, for the flaws of the product, you want to actually like write that yourself and talk about the flaws. Don't be sneaky. Don't try to hide that stuff, because all will happen is like the product will get returned.
Yeah, like guys, they have a 30-day return policy, and like eBay does not care for you as a seller. They're gonna return it over and over again. So just show the flaws. I know I've been kind of that one time. Like I was like sneaky and like try to like kind of like hide a flaw, and the person's like very sneaky photos. Like they called me out like very sneaky photos. Like this is gonna be returned. Like, oh, damn, like he got me, man.
No, you gotta like. I'll give you an example. We had a purse that we listed, or a bag that we listed for a customer recently, and he kind of did what you're talking about. He gave us a bunch of photos. The one thing that I did like was like the one thing he did wrong was he didn't have a good photo up front. So which is like you should always have that really good default photo up front.
Tinder.
Like he never sent us one, so we actually had to ask him for one. Because all his photos were like, I was like, there was light shining off of it. It was just like not like a good Tinder photo. And then, but like on the thing he did do well was like the bag, it was a new bag, but it had like a big scratch on it. And he like prominently displayed that. I was like, good that you did that, because if he hadn't done that, he probably would have gotten that return.
100%. Because think about if you were this customer, right?
Yep.
Put yourself in that customer's shoes. Would I want to have that big scratch on the bag if I didn't think it was there? No. But if it's there and I see it and it's prominent, like, and I'd be like, okay, it's there. That's why it's at a discounted price, right? There's gonna be those leeways.
The one thing you can do is like a lot of these bags and stuff, you can also like clean them up with stuff.
Yep.
And right, it'll like move the marks a little bit, whatnot. So there are like, I guess like there's like oils and stuff out there that you can use to kind of make the bags look a little bit better, and it'll get rid of the scratch. Sometimes if it's like not a deep scratch, it'll probably just get rid of the scratch. So that might be worth the $5 investment to do that. Clothing item, you want to make sure all the stains are gone. Get rid of as many stains as possible. Like you said, get rid of the wrinkles as well, and then post them online. Let us shift over to electronics. How do you sell used electronics online? What do you?
Used electronics, first off, they have the best margin across the board, right? Make sure that they are tested, and if you don't test it, just make sure that you are willing to take that return. Electronics, they have the highest return rate. Even we sell new electronics on Amazon, and we still have a 16 to 17% return rate.
Wow, that's a pretty high return rate.
Yeah.
And so, and the tough part about new products are like if you sell them, somebody opens them, uses them, they send them back to you. It's a used product now.
Yep. Take the hit.
That's a hit. But if you sell a used product and then they sell it back and they return it back to you, you can still sell it as a used product.
Exactly.
So you don't necessarily need to change your price on it then.
Yep. Makes it easy and simple. It might be broken, but as long as like to list those things, it's the same brand and model number. Find those and then put them up.
Brand, model number, price them up. A few things I would actually recommend, like if you have the box, put it in the original box.
100%.
If you don't have an original box, get a nice box that fits around it so the thing doesn't break during shipping. And it just looks better for the customer when it comes out of the box, right?
People are willing to pay about 20% more with the original box.
20%
Yep, and you can even then list it as new other, right? Because it's still can be used, but you can list it as new other. Just make sure in the description you say it is used. But you have the box, it makes it more clean line, and you can always get more money off it too.
Cool, awesome. All right, guys. Anything else you want to add on this topic?
I think this is about it, guys.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Thanks for joining us again today. Check out our other videos. We're starting to get much more detail in like these conversations about like specific topics for resellers. If you have any questions, ask us below. Reach out to amy@hammockdata.com or hit up Ty. I'll give you a cell phone number next time.
Yeah. hit that like button and subscribe. Catch you in a bit.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah, I like that.